Would you also think that people don't date right when they date? That would be the reason why they have all these fights, especially in their first year of marriage. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mabel, and on my channel here I film about family, relationships, beauty and lifestyle. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here and you're just seeing me for the first time, thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, because here we learn, we share and we have fun. So in today's video, I will be answering the question, why do most couples fight in their first year of marriage? Okay, so I got inspiration for this video from the short film 12 Seasons that I saw on YouTube. Okay, so this film is directed, I think it's directed by Pastor Kingsley Okonkwo. He's a relationship coach. He's on YouTube as well. He's a Nigerian-based pastor, and I listened to a lot of his relationship teachings, and this is a film he produced. I guess he produced it. So I watched this film, and Chris and I watched it, and we kind of liked it a lot. And I just thought, you know, it was a good way for me to explain this topic, because I got a lot of ideas, and I completely related to this movie. Okay, so I'm going to also leave the link to the film in my description box. It's a really short film. It's called 12 Seasons, so you can see it. And also, because I saw the video, I was completely blessed. I could relate as a married person. I know some things in the film Chris and I we had experienced, of course, and that's why I kind of wanted to tackle this question, why do most couples fight in their first year of marriage, and related to this movie. Okay, and also from this film, after Chris and I watched it, we could kind of relate to it. Besides an explanation to why couples fight in their first year of marriage, I also got a clear and better understanding of how to explain or describe love in marriage. Okay, but I think I'm going to make that as a second video, just so this one isn't too long. Okay, so that being said, why do most couples fight in their first year of marriage? So from the first scene in the movie, the first thing I got from that movie was that the guy, he made breakfast for his wife. And he came, he had good intentions, he thought he did something great, and then the wife, of course, was thankful. But then she went to the bathroom, and she found out that the dish soap wasn't there, the hand wash wasn't there, and then she found it in the kitchen. And see that, and then when she got to the kitchen, he made a mess of the kitchen. Okay, and that kind of threw her off, and it kind of spoiled the whole thing that the husband did for her. So I could relate to this thing, because I think I've been like that at some point, or maybe I'm still like that. You know, I think that's the best thing as a couple, because now she forgot the fact that he took his time, he was thoughtful enough to make her breakfast, and then she was just focused on the mess he made in the kitchen. And a lot of married people are very familiar with this thing, and I think these are one of the things that causes like friction or argument during the first year of marriage, because maybe this person is clean, this one is messy, you didn't put this right in. So these are one of the things, just our differences. Okay, differences is one of the things that causes fights in the first year of marriage. Another scene from the short film was that the husband hung out with his guys or his friends after work and came back really late. Okay, and then the wife was up all evening waiting for him to get back. So now look at the problem here. He would have just called her and said that, hey babe, I'm running late from work, or I'm gonna be staying late with the guys and all that. He didn't call her. She, on the other hand, of course, didn't call him after she waited for a while. She just waited. Now, the problem here was that he thought that she wouldn't mind, or he didn't think that he should have called her to update her. So these are some of the things that married people experience, okay? When one person thinks that, oh, I'm sure they will know, or maybe I'll just explain to them when I get home, and so some of these things are what causes arguments in marriage, okay? The guy thinking, oh, I know she knows where I am, or not thinking, or not being thoughtful to let her know, to update her every minute or every second, or very often if his plans changes, okay? He just assumes that, oh, she's my wife, she'll be okay. So these are one of the things that I think most married couples, not just first-year couple, experience in their marriages that causes arguments and fights, okay? So that's another thing I got from the movie. Another thing I also got from the video was the silent treatment game, okay? So when he got back home, his wife was mad at him. She decided to give him the silent treatment. The next day he comes back home, she didn't make him breakfast and dinner because she was already mad from the other day. So, all these kind of things are things that you see, experience here and there in marriage, okay? So these are what causes frictions and fights in marriage. Another case that I saw, another part in the video that I saw interesting was the part where he said, we're going to the village to spend Christmas with my mom, okay? So one thing I could say in this part is that, good and fine, she's now married to the man, okay? I think they would have sat down and had a better conversation. I believe that the woman should have known that, okay, you are now married to this guy, so you now are part of his family, okay? But then she was thinking that the old way she celebrated Christmas with her family was still going to stand, So these are the few things that causes friction in marriage, especially the first year of marriage. Trying to find the balance, understanding each other, understanding what goes, understanding that you have to let go of one thing. She has to let go of her family tradition to embrace his family tradition. That doesn't mean that sometimes he cannot also do it her own way, okay? But I think when you think about marriage, modern couples, she's in Lagos, they're in Lagos, she gets married to this guy. She's never thinking that someday they will have to go to the village. So this is the problem of marriages these days. This is the problem of couples of our century. They want the city life. They don't want the traditional way. They want to pick and choose what they can do, So these are the kind of things that causes frictions in marriage. The man expects you to know that when you are married to me, you are going to do things my way, my family's way. You are now part of my family. But you think that, well, I know I'm married to you, but at the same time, I still have my family. I'm not going to throw them away. So these are the little things that causes like frictions and fights in the first year of marriage, and sometimes even beyond the first year of marriage, except it's properly addressed, okay? So these are the things that I think that cause, like I said, I'm kind of reviewing the video or the film as well as explaining some of the things I learned from the video that I think is very relevant to marriages, especially to new couples, okay? So these are a few things that I picked up from the movie that I'm just talking about. Another thing I noticed in the video that I think I really liked was the fact that after their 3 weeks of fight, the guy apologized. Not necessarily because he was at fault, but I think that, for me, I always say that, whether I'm at fault or you're at fault, I think a gentleman should always learn how to say, I am sorry, regardless of who caused the problem. So I saw that in him, the gentleman nature in him, when he apologized to his wife. Okay, so that's another thing I saw, and I think that most couples should do more often. Guys, learn how to apologize, whether it's your fault or your wife's fault. And you guys, it's usually not the wife's fault. So that's one thing I think he did in the video that I really, really like. Another thing that is very relevant in marriages, especially new marriages, that I saw in this video was the fact that, when they exchanged presents during Valentine's Day, of course, the wife was very thoughtful to buy him something different, but he kept buying the same gift for her every time, okay? Is that okay? I think it's up to every couple. But then I think the lady handled it wrongly. At least I felt like she would have first be grateful for the fact that he was thoughtful enough to get her a present, and then later on find a very constructive way to tell him that, babe, don't buy me the same gift over and over again. I know it still is a handbag, but he said it was a different bag, it was different brand, it was more expensive and all that. But I think people have to first understand their partners, okay? So I think just, it doesn't matter. Just first you have to understand your partner, what she likes or what he likes. You know, I didn't think that buying her a purse the third time was bad, but I just felt like maybe buying it for the same occasion is boring, okay? So, but then it's okay. He thought about it. He got her a present. But the fact that she did not appreciate it, she just started getting mad and, you know, complaining from the beginning, kind of was a spoiler for me for every marriage. I think she should have first accepted and appreciated what he got, and then later, constructively, like I said, told him the better way to handle or buy her presents, okay? So that is another thing I saw in the video that I thought I would talk about as well. Another thing that I saw in this video that is very, very, this one I'll say is very, very mean, is the fact that when the lady found out that the husband bought a 2 or 3 million power bike for himself, and then she wasn't happy, or she wanted him to return the bike because she thought that they were saving money in the family, because she wanted a new phone and she asked for an iPhone 7, like an old iPhone. He, on the other hand, was definitely willing to buy her the newest iPhone if she wanted, but in her mind she is helping the family save money, which is, I feel like that is my nature, okay? And then, so I think that sometimes, you know, even if it's funny, because when we watch this part, Chris just said, this is you, and I'm like, yes, I know, and this is you. You know, while I'm here trying to cut costs to save the family, you are just living your life and enjoying yourself. So, you know, I think that there was really nothing with the fact that the guy bought himself what he wanted. I think the woman should have just, you know, probably asked for whatever. Or if you don't want it, because you're wanting to buy something less, doesn't mean you should subject the other person to do the same. So that part was really interesting. It got me, because that was like me, like that woman at that particular instance was mean. Oh, it's mean. But at the same time, we should learn to, you know, allow ourselves to be yourself. You don't expect your husband to, because if you're the one who compromises, it doesn't necessarily mean the other person has to be like you. So that was one thing that I thought was very interesting, I could relate to, and I think is also very relevant in most marriages. Okay, so one last thing I think I saw that I wanted to talk about was the fact that her ex was calling her, and of course, well, that one I don't know, but I feel like because they were already mad at each other, you know, the call, of course, just resulted into a fight. And I didn't think that it was necessary for her to say, you know, well, you have the same problem, so I have to, you know, in marriage you don't win fights by fighting, okay? I believe that strongly. Like, you don't win a battle by fighting back, okay? Because maybe he talks to his ex or something doesn't mean you have to do the same. You're at the end of the day going to cause yourself more harm or more heartbreak than you would have if you didn't address it in that manner. And then she also mentioned that his phone has password, and you see, this phone thing in marriage is one thing that gets me all the time. I always say, why do married couples have to put a password or a lock to prevent their spouses from going into their phone, from getting into their phone? Like this one here, I cannot talk about it anymore, because I feel like it is really a big deal in marriage. I don't think that it should be, okay? Why would you be hiding something in your phone? I don't know, like this thing, you guys, I don't understand it. I guess I'll never understand it, but at the same time, I just think it is wrong for anybody to have a password or to have privacy on their phone to prevent their partners from having access to that phone. It is just a phone, guys. It is just a phone. So I feel like we should learn to be truthful, to be open, to be honest to one another. We're in very big things and in the really little ones. It is very important generally. So after saying all these things, reacting to this video, I'm now thinking, so why do couples really have so much fight in their first year of marriage? I will say that the main reason is because they are trying to find a balance. That will be the main reason, because everybody's different. You're from different homes, different upbringing, you have different ideas to life, you do your things differently and all that. So I think the main reason why people fight in their first year of marriage is because they are still trying to find a balance. Okay, yes. So now, that being said, would you also think that people don't date right when they date? That would be the reason why they have all these fights, especially in their first year of marriage? Or does it mean that people just completely ignore all those things that they see when they during their relationship and dating phases, and just focus on having fun and maybe telling themselves that, well, let us just get married? So do you think that they actually ignore these signs, or do they not see these signs? Or do you think they don't date right? That's why there's so much fight, especially in the first year of marriage. If you are married, can you relate to this? Did you have so much fight in your first year of marriage? How did you handle it? Have you found the balance yet? If you are not married, would you rather spend your time really solving these things before you get married and enjoy your first year of marriage and beyond? Or will you just rather have fun, and then when you get into marriage, you deal with all the things that comes with it? So share your thoughts, okay? Leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know if you experienced all these fights in your first year of marriage, or if it was difficult for you or not to find a balance in your first year of marriage. So I just wanted to come here and do a reaction to this, to the film 12 Seasons, as well as kind of explain some things and kind of just talk about it here and there and just relate it to real life situations. So if you haven't watched that movie yet, like I said, I'll leave the link to that video in my description box. And please, as usual, don't forget to leave a thumbs up on my video, like my video, share, comment, subscribe, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.